I'm Ivan. I have now 29 years old. I am a married man. I'm faithful to God, man. So I follow God every single day. God is my first plan and my first thing every single day, my first choose in every moment. And then it's the trading today, and in case in my job, and of course, in case it's my family, and then it's my job. And the trading space today that we are in Akashx, we are in this space, but from the moment I started with my 20 years. I was like 90 to 20 years, and I started because of my daughter. So I had knew that I would be dead by the time, and I was working on a 9 to 5 job normally. I didn't have like crazy objectives by the time. I was just living with my parents, and like living life as a 19 years old kid, let's say. But the moment I knew that I would be dead, everything changed in my mind, and I started searching for some opportunities. And the first opportunity that I found was a network marketing company that introduced me to the trading space. So for the first 3 years, I was more focusing on network marketing, and I built some community, of course, and some clients. But then I was studying the trading space by the time, and in the first 3 years, I was only trading like to learn, right? I was doing my own mistakes. I was learning with some traders by the time, so, like testing some strategies. And when I was 23 years old to 24 was the moment that I start being profitable with trading, and I start to apply a strategy that today I still use. Okay, and yeah, so the first 3 years was like just learning and making mistakes, and then by the fourth year I start to being profitable. And since my 24 years, so the past 5 years from now, I've been profitable every single year, and using, okay, I will not say the same strategy, but 80% of the strategy was the same these 5 years. Some changes because of course the market also changed. But yeah, I was introduced to this market by a network marketing company, and then was like focusing on growing every single day, on learning the skill, on applying every single thing I learned, and of course making a lot of mistakes, losing money because I lost some money in the first 3 years, of course. But yes, I didn't quit. I'm still here. And the moment, just to finish, the moment that I like found a way to be teaching people was 4 years ago. So I was 25 by the time, and I started to create a community in Portugal, okay, just a Portuguese community. And I saw that at least in Portugal, the people didn't have a lot of financial literacy. So there was a lack of financial literacy from Portuguese people, even for the financial market. So I saw an opportunity to bring value. And in case I also in every single day I love to talk about what I know, and that for me at least was not a problem to talk to people, or to be inside calls, or to be at in events talking to people, teaching what I know. So was also a thing that I loved. So yeah, trading was a thing that I loved, talking to people was a thing that I loved. So the things matched to be an educator. And by the time I started doing some events in Portugal, and eventually I got the opportunity to be educator in other company, and then today of course in Akashx, and be here with this amazing community, and be educating every single one of you, and of course being part of a group of amazing educators as well. I think Hugo is just having like a battery issue. Yeah, he's having he's like he's like here. Okay, he reached. Okay, it's okay, Hugo, it's okay. Okay.
I'll get Hugo. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Well,
So
I mean, I know I appreciate you kind of going into that, and again, it just like what's preached a lot of when when we kind of have these types of calls and people really get to learn and understand like the process that people go through in trading. Like, there's always like the learning curve, right? And usually it's a common thing that people lose money in the beginning. But again, just like anything, you have to learn, and I think it's like super valuable. I say this all the time, but there's a lot of these mistakes that, for example, you and like Hugo, I'm sure you guys went through, and those are always the first things I hear you guys preach on your calls is like, to try and help that next person avoid the mistakes. Of course, everyone's going to make their own mistakes, through the process, but, really leveraging these guys and learning from that to avoid a majority of the mistakes they made, so you can kind of get to that progression quicker and take less, maybe less damage, I guess you can say, across the way. But no, it's really awesome to hear your story because I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Like you said, you got introduced through network marketing, and that's what we're here, right? And so it's really powerful that we have customers being able to come on and relate to that. Maybe this is their first experience in trading is through Akashx, and they can see somebody like your guys' self who was in their shoes, right? And now you guys educate for the company. You guys are very, very successful on your own. You've been consistently profitable the last few years. And you guys, for those of you guys who don't know, both of them, Hugo and Ivan, they not only are educators and traders, but they also perform on the tap to trade product, right? Which is not an easy task to do. There's a completely different psychology around that, when it comes to you taking part of that service and providing that for the company. And these guys have been our top performers, since you guys came in on TTT, which is a big statement to say. I think it would be great. Hugo, is the computer all working? Everything good over there? Yeah, awesome. Well, I think it would be awesome, Hugo, also for you to just hop in. I know maybe share a little bit as well, a little bit about your story, maybe some of the similar, some of the differences, that Ivan kind of just shared. And then I think it would be awesome because it's really rare, when we have these types of calls or we introduce people to trading to have kind of a situation where you guys trade together a lot, right? And you guys are like a team. Obviously, you probably don't take every trade exactly the same, but you guys work and like work off of each other in order to get a higher consistency, a higher confirmation. And I think it would be super valuable to maybe go into that a little bit and how valuable that is to your guys' trading and your trading style.
Yeah, of course, bro. Thank you very much, first of all, for the introduction, Mike. I really appreciate that. And I'm super grateful to be here with all of you guys here in this call and also in this company, all the opportunities that were given to us. It's really grateful to be around all of these kind of people, all of this leadership. And just introducing really quick, guys, for those who don't know me, my name is Hugo Gonçalves. I've been around the industry for the past 6 years. I'm 29 years old as well, like Ivan. And we are currently living together. We are living in a house in Brazil. And basically, I'm a bit similar in my story with Ivan because I got introduced to this industry with network marketing as well, like 5 years ago. And then what is a bit different for me is then on the first 2 years of my journey, I lost a lot of money, guys. And that's why I always say, and I always, for the people that especially are on our live sessions, I always talk about the vision, about the patience, about the resilience in these markets, because trust me, guys, trading is not just about the strategy, and this is part of my journey. This is part of my story. That's why I always talk about that, because on my story, on my journey, took me more than 2 years to be profitable. And you know what, guys? I lost more than $60,000, all my savings by the time, because when I started trading, when I started network marketing, I was working a job. Like 6 years ago, I was working like a normal person, a 9 to 5, let's say. And then all my savings, because I had a vision, I was on an event by the time. And then when I saw trading, I said to myself, well, I don't understand nothing about what is this chart, but I was seeing someone in front of me that said was making millions with that. And I said, okay, if this person can make millions with that, I can make too. I just need to commit to the process. And then when I start, I put all my savings into my trading account, and guess what? I lost all my money, guys. But you know what's the difference? Because when you are close to God, when you believe in that type of vision, I said to myself, I'm not going to quit because I believe I can do that. And the year after, I paid for the mentorship. I recovered all my money, and 1 year and a half after, I made my first six figures in this industry. So what I want to say by that is that maybe on the beginning of your journey, especially if you are someone new on this call, you need to have the vision on long term on trading. Trading is not like a sprint, it's a marathon. You are not going to join today, you're not going to be rich tomorrow. But if you are here, if you commit to the process, if you want to put the effort into the live sessions, into learn the strategy, into be close to us, to the people that have the results that you want, trust me that anyone can be successful in this industry. But we give you the resources, we give you the insights on how you can do it. On your side, guys, the only thing you need to do is to work on yourself. Because again, we can give you the best strategy, we can give you the best insights, but if you don't work on your mindset, on your vision, it's very hard to reach the point of being successful. And I think one of the key points to be a successful trading is the mindset. Okay. So that's my journey. That's what I believe that anyone needs to do to be successful in trading. And sharing a bit of how we work together, we basically we know each other, me and Ivan. A long time ago, we met in Portugal as well, even on our first company. And since then, we've been in contact with each other. We had communities already of 1,000 people in Portugal. So that's why my passion about trading and teaching, especially other people, because I saw my journey. And then when I teach other people, I just try to bring everything that I know and put on the table and sharing this journey, because I believe that is the best way to teach people, is to start from the basics, to share the journey itself. I think that's the most important part, is not coming here just speaking the strategy. Oh, now you sell, now you buy. That's the most easiest part. Okay, I'm not saying that trading is easy, but teaching that side is the most easiest part for us. Okay, and when we basically got in contact with each other, we saw that our strategy combined was working really good. And then we made some tests. We was sharing like our trades, like, bro, here is a good thing to trade. Here, this pair we trade like that. Here is a good confirmation. Confirm with your strategy, my strategy. And we saw that the win rate increased a lot. Okay, so that's why today we work together on the trades. And I mean, the result speaks for itself.
No, of course. Like I said, I mean, you guys have crushed it ever since you came in here, and I think it's really cool. You kind of get explaining of how you guys work like cohesively, because when I look at what we have here at Akashx, right? I mean, obviously everybody who comes in, they have access to you guys, and they can get on your guys' sessions, they can ask questions. You guys are extremely active in your Telegram channels with your communities, which is great. But kind of taking from that as well is everybody here is submersed in this community built by Akashx, and everybody's striving for the same goal. There's a lot of people in here who are trying to learn, who are trying to progress, and you guys have access to your peers, right, who are all doing the same thing. And so, like, kind of just taking a page out of your guys' book, something that's so powerful that may be overlooked, in my opinion, is the ability for you guys to connect with people all around the world. I mean, we got, me in California, you guys in Brazil, I'm sure people all around the world. And there's people, whether it's like close to you, so, on the same time zone, whatever. We have Zoom, all of these things now. And, at the end of the day, you guys have the ability to connect with your peers in the ecosystem, right? And you guys can work and leverage in the same way that these guys started, in the same way that these guys did, and collaborate together. And especially in the beginning, like, because I remember, I kind of did the same thing when I first got into the space. It was me and one of my best friends, and we started trading together. It was like every morning we would just get on Zoom together. He was a few states away. We would get up for New York session, and we kind of looked at the market differently, but then we kind of put our knowledge together. And also for the psychological aspect, it kind of made me feel better, like knowing like, okay, he's seeing the same thing, I'm seeing the same thing. I feel a little more confident like executing the trade now, right? And that just kind of builds your confidence and your psychology when you have somebody to work with and work off of in that manner until, of course, maybe down the future, it does, you get the confidence and you do it on your own, but it's all a part of the process, right? And you guys have found something that's worked extremely well for you, and you guys do it at a very high level still together, to this day, which is just awesome to see. So I just wanted to like really highlight on that because I think, sometimes people don't realize like also what they can get out of just the community being built in Akashx. We have people all over, at all levels, all skill levels. And so go do that, network and communicate with some of your guys' peers in the platform. And maybe find a trading partner who's willing to commit with you or will it's on the same schedule as you. Maybe they have the same work schedule or like it just makes it a lot easier in my opinion. I think that's super valuable. So super cool to hear your guys' story about that. And everything in regards to that. But I do want to kind of dive in a little more because I know you guys, like you said, you talked about your strategy, right? Everybody's always curious, when it comes to how you guys look at the market. I know you guys teach it, right? Obviously. But it would be, really cool. Sometimes it's just really good for people to see, like, hey, we saw this is how we look at the market and this is how it reacted. So I don't know if you guys would be open to that, but if you can maybe show just like some of your setups you sent on TTT recently on the chart or anything like that, and kind of just, you don't have to go super in detail, but just kind of give a little explanation of what you guys look for and then just how the market reacted.
Yes, for sure, Mike. Okay, so I think it's best also to explain the strategy so we share our screen. So can I share it? Yes, okay, thank you. So let me just put it here. Okay. Okay, guys. So I will give you guys a quick overview on the strategy, okay? Even if me and Hugo we trade together, our strategy is similar, but the confirmations are different, okay? And what we do is like a confluence between the confirmations that Hugo have and the confirmations that I have. So it's exactly what Mike was saying. So I have my strategy and I'm confident about my strategy. But if I have Hugo and Hugo have his own strategy different than mine, and his different strategy is seeing the same opportunity as mine, so yeah, we get also more confident on the trade that we will take, and because of that the results are better, okay? But if you apply like Hugo's strategy and my strategy, let's say single, you can still be profitable because in the case that we will write one thing and Hugo will write another thing, the most important of things will be risk management, of course, and the lot size that you will use. So first things first, doesn't matter if it's Ivan, Hugo, Joey, or Mike's strategy. The number one thing in this financial market is risk management, okay? And let's say mentality, okay, or mindset. I don't know how you say it, but it's the most important thing, okay? So emotions will be the biggest enemy inside this market. So when everyone sees me trading live, they see me like closing a trade of profit smiling, and they also see me closing a trade losing smiling as well. And that's the reason why I'm profitable, because I can smile in loss and I can smile in wins. And that's about mentality, that's about mindset. And of course, just to talk about mindset, we could take like 4 to 5 hours talking about that, because it's a complex thing that we need inside the markets. But I can give you like a quick real tip for that. So if you are not reading the Bible as a money book, start to read the Bible as a money book. And if you don't want to read every single page of the Bible, go to ChatGPT and try to correlate, like I said, try to bring a confluence between the Bible and money, and you will see that the Bible talks a lot more about mentality and money than what you are thinking. So the moment I start studying the Bible was the moment I start being really profitable and a really good trading, and my mentality changed everything. Okay, so I think you need to start read the Bible so you can get money from the market. That's what I think. Okay, it's just my opinion. Second one, you will see that risk management is all about the lot size that you use. Okay, so I always talk about it. The lot size depends on the bank you have, right, and also the risk reward of your trade. So let's say if you pick right now at gold, let's say the market is open and you are seeing like a buy opportunity here, right? And your buy opportunity is to search to go for this top here. So this is like 800 pips, right? And let's say if your stop loss is down there, right? So like 400 pips. So this is a 1 to 2 risk reward trade, right? Because you are trying to make 800 pips and you are willing to lose 400 pips. So 1 2 risk reward. So in this case, of course, it's a lot of pips inside the trade, right? So you need to adapt your lot size to your bank. So let's say if you wanna only risk, let's say 1%, okay? You wanna risk 1% of your account, and your account is equal to 50K, okay? So 50K dollars. So 1% will be $500, right? $500. So if you want to take this trade that is a 1 2 risk reward, so if your stop loss is going to be 1%, that means if the trade goes to your take profit, you will gain 2%. That's the meaning of 1 2 risk reward, okay? This 1 2 risk reward, okay? We write like this. So if you are willing to lose 500 and you enter on this trade, you are willing to gain $1,000, okay, right? So trading, it's all about this, and this is the most important thing. So I need to know what lot size, if the stop loss is 400 pips, right? What lot size do I use on this trade? So if I lose 400 pips, I will only lose $500. And you will see that the lot size that you could use would be zero, will be this 0.12 lot size on this trade. Okay? So this would be the correct risk management for your stop loss to lose $500 and for your take profit to win $1,000. Okay? So if you put that this is the problem on a lot of people. If you enter on the trade with one lot size and the trade goes wrong, 400 pips will make you lose $4,000, and $4,000 will be almost 10% of your account. And in a prop firm account, for example, you will get rid of your account only because of one trade. So that's the reason why I'm telling you that trading is all about risk management, because if you make 10 trades with good risk management and you win the 10 trades, and in the 11th trade you change the lot size incorrectly and you get a loss trade, a stop loss, you will lose your 10 trade win rate cycle, correct? So you will get rid of all the good work that you've made in a week, in a day, in a monthly basis, just because of this. So try to understand by the course what is the lots. I will not give a class about that here, but this is really important. You need to know the lot size you use, you need to know what is pips, you need to know what is lots, you need to know what is risk management. Okay, now about my strategy. Okay, so this is number one. Number two, trade um, every time inside sessions. So at least for me, I trade inside New York session mostly, okay? And also I trade Asia and London session, but not too much. The 80% of my trades I make in New York session. Why, Ivan? Because the session have more liquidity. And liquidity is equal to money, and money is equal to volume inside market, and volume is equal to more pips, and more pips is equal to more money, okay, inside the market. So that's the reason why I trade in New York session. This month was crazy because United States government got shut down, so the New York session is wrecked. Like Asia session, I don't know what Chinese are doing, but the Asia session turn on like the New York session with volume because the shutdown of the government. So that's the reason why Asia sessions are having a lot of falls, a lot of ups, just because the government is shut down and there is no news on the dollar. So we are having like a non-typical month in the trading space in case of the New York session. But try to trade every time inside sessions, at least for me inside New York session. So depending on the country that you are, you need to see which hour the New York session opens and which hour the New York session closes, and try to trade the first 2 hours of the session because it's the most volume hours. Okay. Third, okay, always enter in break, sorry, sessions in break of structures. This is what I have all the time side by side to me. Trade every time inside sessions, always enter in break of structures. Okay, what is break of structures? So at least for me, for example, today in gold, there was an amazing sell opportunity. Okay, what is a structure for you, Ivan? So let's bring here the horizontal line. So for example, here is a top and here is a bottom. Okay, and then I can, wait, sorry, I can bring this to here, and here are liquidity wicks. So what I usually see in the market is I try to find the tunnel like it is right now. Okay, this is a tunnel structure, top and the bottom. I wait for sessions. And for example, if you were trading today on the New York session, you will see that the market was here at the beginning of the session. Okay, so when I came to the market, I put my tunnel on top and bottom. So at this point, type in the chat, the market is close to the bottom or close to the top. Type you in the chat, guys. So this is like basic, okay? This is basic of the strategy. It's close to the bottom. Okay, so I get an alert. I'm close to the bottom. I test it before, right? If you see, for example, this move, test it, right? And I'm going again. New York session is about to open, and I'm close to the spot. So my confirmation is the moment the market breaks the tunnel, that is this spot. And then for me to have a real sell confirmation, I need to break also the liquidity wicks. So this is my trading spot. In this case, was a sell that I will be making. Why? Because I'm inside session, the market is breaking structure, and for me to be a break of structure really confirmed, I need to swipe out the liquidity on these weeks, and I'm following money. Trading is all about following money. So when you see the market going down, it's because money is flowing from sellers. So don't try to go against the wave, follow the wave. So what I usually tell to the people on the third, always enter in break-off structures. Fourth, trading is equal to surf. Catch the wave. So what what a professional surfer do? He enters the ocean, right? So ocean is the financial market. Take the analogy, okay? Ocean is the financial market. So as a professional surfer, he knows when he is inside the ocean, he can get rid of his own life, right? Because the ocean is the ocean, have its own danger, right? Even if he's a good surfer, a professional one, a world champion, he knows that the moment he enters in the ocean, he can get wrecked, right? So that is the mentality that you need to bring to the market. Even if you are a professional trader, you are inside the ocean. Now the ocean have waves. So look how crazy is this ocean, also have waves. So as a surfer, I don't go against waves. Because imagine a surfer seeing a wave going left and he tries to surf it going right. He will fall, right? So the fall of a surfer in the ocean is the fall of a bank account of a trader. Is the same way when he goes against the wave. So look at this beautiful wave. Look at this beautiful wave. She flows to this direction. So I will not try to go to this direction. I will follow the wave the moment she is breaking the structure. What is the break of the structure? Do you remember when surfers they see their wave, but there are some moments because they don't put themselves up in the way up in the how can we say the thing that they put, Mike? I don't know in English. The surf plate is like
The surfboard?
surfboard. Okay, surfboard.
Yeah.
If they don't go up in the right moment on the surfboat, they will also fall down even if they catch a good wave. So the moment the market breaks the structure and breaks the liquidity wicks is the moment you need to put yourself up in the surfboard. And then look at how beautiful this is. Boom. This is the moment I tell you boom in the chat. Is the moment when I saw my wave and I put myself at this side moment. This is the moment I send you a trade. Of course, even when you catch an amazing trade or an amazing wave, even for surfers, the moment they are riding, they can still fall from the surfboat. So the same with us. The market is 99% manipulated. So even if you have this like basic confirmation, doesn't I cannot tell you like it's 100% because you can still fall in the middle of the wave. Like the wave can go up just because of news, just because of a lot of things that happen in the market. So there is not 100%, but I can tell you just applying this small thing here, you will start to make money. But Ivan, you didn't talk about candles, you didn't talk about uh, RSI, you didn't talk. Yeah, bullshit. Sorry for that, but is bullshit. The only thing you need to understand is about catching your wave and money. Because of course I can tell you and I can show you more confirmations here. Like for example, head and shoulders pattern. So this means the market can go down. We have head and shoulders confirmation. Also, we have here head and shoulders reconfirmation. So a double head and shoulders in the market. Head and shoulders at the top means the market can go down. It's like a possible confirmation. And also we had an head and shoulders here. So it's like a triple head and shoulders pattern that is telling you the market will rush down. So this is an amazing triple head and shoulders pattern. Just because of that, we have like a sell, or we try to see a sell opportunity. But then the most important thing is structure. So if I apply inside the head and shoulders my strategy, look at here, top and bottom, head, shoulder, head, and there came another shoulder here. So, but at this moment we didn't have the shoulder, but we had what? We had the break of structure, break of the liquidity weekend, boom, sell. Then we created the shoulder. So head and shoulders pattern. And then again, we bring structure. And the market, boom, break of structure, break the week, another sell. Okay, let's see, for example, here, a pattern, double bottom pattern. I have structure. Double bottom means a buy opportunity, okay? So double bottom pattern and I have my tunnel, right? So the market came from a double bottom pattern, came up, rushed the structure, broke the liquidity wicks here, all of them, and at this moment I catch my wave and boom again. And if you start just to focus on these three things, structure, wave, inside session, you will make money. But first things first, apply correct risk management. Okay. Then of course my strategy have a lot to talk about: fluidity reversal patterns, fluidity candles, fluidity fluidity moments inside time frames, changing of time frames. Okay, it's like more things to optimize the strategy. But with these and good risk management, I can guarantee you make money, guys. Okay, I will let now Hugo talk a bit, or Mike, but it's all about this.
No, amazing. Well, Ivan, thanks, man. I really appreciate you diving in, and I really like how you broke that down. I think even in the chat, you'll see there's a lot of good feedback of just the analogies, and also again, like especially for a lot of the people on here who are just kind of starting or maybe newer, it's like really right, and I'm sure you guys are like really starting to train your eye for like the structures. You know, like if and you guys will notice the more of the educators you connect with us, through Akashx, like everybody and what we what I love about it and what you can tell makes a lot of sense is everybody preaches the first thing like market structure, like understand market structure, everything else follows, but you start training your eyes for that, and then everything becomes easier, and that's like I think that's what everyone can relate to when it comes to like more hours on the chart and spending more hours on the chart. It's like you start to see those without even trying. Comes to a point where it just becomes natural for you. So, that's super key. There's a lot of good stuff as well that you had talked about with, the risk to reward, the risk management. I mean, every time we get on these types of calls, we always have to talk about
And
that.
Mike, I just forgot a quick thing. Let me just because I forgot the fourth point. I don't put the fourth point, but guys, the fourth one is like the stop loss. Okay, you have of course heard of me, some of you, that I don't use stop loss, and I can show you a video why I don't use stop loss. But if you want to put stop loss, there is a place to put your stop loss inside this strategy. So I will just take quick the same spot I was talking about the sell, right? So if we are seeing the 30 minutes time frame and you see the 30 minutes candle that rush the structure and the wicks, so the spot is right here, okay? So you put the stop loss, if it is a sell, at the top of the candle that rush the structure and the wicks. So the candle that rush the structure and the wicks is this one. So your stop loss will be at the top of the candle. And as you can see, if you took this trade, the trade went up here, but will not touch your stop loss. Okay. The same way, for example, for this buy opportunity here, right? Let's take a look on a buy opportunity. So here is the structure. So the market broke the structure here, broke the liquidity wicks here. So here is your buy entry. So the stop loss would be at the bottom of the candle that rushes the structure. So the candle is this one. So your stop loss is at the bottom. So, and as you can see, the market rush and there is no stop loss touched here. Okay. So the fourth point is when you confirm the three things, your stop loss needs to be at the top or the bottom of the candle that breaks the structure, depending on if it is a sell or a buy. Sorry, Mike.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I love it. I love it. No, I'm glad. I appreciate you showing that and going in because obviously that's important. But I think too, it just shows for everyone here watching as well, guys. Like, you can sense how much like these guys care about actually teaching the proper information. And that's again, I mean, that's why they're on the platform because that's what we look for when it comes to putting traders on the platform here at Akashx. I mean, of course, we always want the individuals to be good at their skill. That's important, of course. But it's not only that. That's like one of the precursors, that where it really makes a difference on whether if we bring somebody on or not is, if they really care about teaching, if they really care about helping. And you can just tell just by their posture, the way they speak, like they love talking about this stuff. They love teaching this stuff, and that goes a long way. Um, and then, I know as well, I wanted to get Hugo on here as well. Because like we spoke about earlier, they trade, they have different strategies, but they use a lot of the same foundation, right? And I'm sure like Hugo will be able to like, connect the dots when he explains a little bit about that as well. So we'll give Hugo the opportunity to hop in here as well. And, I think another question, Hugo, just is like, because I know I would think of it, right, from a viewer standpoint, is, you know, Ivan went into it and he had gold. He was showing gold on the screen, right? I know you trade different assets, right? You're not only just trading gold as well. And so, maybe explain a little bit about how when you guys have this approach in this strategy, how it applies like asset wide, right? It's not just first, but like you guys have your why, explain why you have your preferred assets, but also how this applies to any chart that they look at, really.
Yeah, amazing, bro. Yeah. What basically Ivan was saying, he touched a very good, important topic that was the risk management. But basically, why we are doing this together, one of the things is because Ivan, most of the times he trades gold and crypto. And when I got started, I basically fall in love, let's say, with Forex, let's say like the currencies, GBP USD, Euro USD, and on the New York session, I trade most the indices, for example, NASDAQ and US 30. That's what I trade the most. And then what we do, we just combine the strategy because we found out that most of the principles of our strategy works great together. So I'm going to share my screen to teach you guys how I see the markets, how I apply my strategy. Let me share really quick trading view. Just confirm, please, if you can see trading view.
Yeah, I think it's
I
still
think
loading. There we go.
sharing now, right?
Yep, good.
Okay. One of the most important parts, guys, I'm going to touch again is the risk management and why. Because, for example, if you put your risk to be 1%, half percent, 2%, whatever the case may be, stick with that risk. Don't be the person that when you get a loss, you get emotions on the table and then, oh no, because I got the loss, now I'm going to reduce my risk. And let's say that the second trade that you take, now it's going to be a winning trade. But because you didn't kept your risk management the same, you're not going to be profitable. Because I'm teaching that on a way that is a 1 to 2 risk to reward trade. If you do all the time, let's say 1%, that is your plan. Even if you are not a person that wins every single trade, you can be profitable. That's the beauty of Forex. That's the beauty of risk management. And to show that, guys, I was just basically checking our account that we send the TTTs. If you see here, guys, this is all the TTTs that we sent this week, all of them. And as you can see, we're profitable this week. But we win 4 trades and we lost 4 trades. You understand why now risk management is important? Because our win rate this week was 50%, but still we made 1% profit. And why? Because we are very good at risk management. I don't need to win every single trade to be profitable. And you guys know, trading is about that. You're never going to win every single trade. The only thing that you need to do on your side is to practice good risk management and to practice your emotions. Just because you lose one trade doesn't mean you're not going to be profitable. You just need to practice a good risk management. That's why I put here the first topic, because that's the most important part. And then about my strategy is to wait for sessions. I just trade inside sessions, especially on the beginning of the sessions, either London or New York. I don't trade like most of the time. I don't trade Asia session. I always wait for London session and New York session. But any trades that you do is going to be better inside sessions. Okay. And then, of course, to take the trade, to execute the trade, you need to wait for confirmations. Okay. And one of the most important confirmations is structure. You need to see what is the structure. When I look at this, for example, 4 hours, let's just put here 4 hours, what I see, when I look at this, what I see, you need to understand that first. And then what you need to do is to build your narrative. Okay, now I understood the structure. I'm inside session, okay? Session. I understood the structure. Now I need to see volume because you don't want to trade when the market is like that, sideways. Avoid that type of market. Wait for volume. The third confirmation, I wait for a liquidity sweep. And I'm going to give you guys in a minute an example of that. Okay. Then my other confirmation is a boss. Boss is a break of structure. Okay. Then to enter my trade, to execute my trade, I need to wait for a confirmation, either or an order block or an imbalance or a fair value gap. And I only take the trade if the minimum of the structure that is telling me I can do at least a 1 to 2. Let's say I'm on a structure that I see the potential target for the next structure, either a sell or a buy. Let's say is a 1 to 1. I don't take the trade because I'm not willing to risk, let's say, 1% to gain 1%. I prefer to wait for a better confirmation. And this is a very important topic as well that I want to touch. In trading, doesn't matter the quantity of trades that you're going to take during the week. You can take 20 trades, 30 trades during the week. I can take one trade. I can make more money than you. Trading is not about quantity, it's about quality. Trust me, I turned out profitable and I made serious money inside this market when I was trading less. Most of the times in my strategy, I found 2, 3 good opportunities a week. If I don't see a good opportunity, especially on my personal accounts, I don't trade. Because I know my risk management. I know that if I found one good trade a week, I can make the salary of the month, let's say. Okay, guys, so keep that in mind. Trading is not about quantity of trades that you take, it's about the quality of the trades that you take. Okay? And then my strategy is what I call the PO3 system. Okay? And the PO3 system stands by accumulation. That is this part over here. That is when the market is ranging. Okay, that's an accumulation zone. Then I wait for the manipulation. That is the liquidity sweep. That it is move over here against the strength, let's say, either a buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity. And then we have the phase of the distribution. That is the breakout structure, this one over here. And on this move over here, I need to have imbalance or order block. And when you find those two things, you have two options. Or you enter on the premium zone, on the retest, or you wait for the break of this low. Let's say that you are a conservative person. You wait for the retest. You see that the market, okay, is respecting the structure. You wait for the break of structure. You take your trade here. Stop loss above the high, at least 1 to 2 risk reward. Okay? Or if you are more aggressive, you can take your trade here on the retest, stop loss here, and take profit at least 1 to 2. Okay, guys? My strategy in terms of that is really simple. This is the PO3 system. Now I'm going to give you guys an example of that. All the time, every morning that I look at the charts, I look at the 1 hour time frame. And why? Because I'm a day trader. I don't swing a lot, so I don't look like the weekly time frame. I mean, I look just to have a perspective of the macro trend, but daily I don't look at that. Okay, I'll look at the 1 hour time frame because I'm more a day trader, and then I see the structure. For example, this was the trade that I sent on TTT yesterday. Okay, the GBP USD buy, and basically what I saw is on Wednesday we had the manipulation of the Friday lows of last week. And why is a manipulation? Because on the 1 hour time frame, as you can see here, the body of the candle didn't close below the lows. When you got a week like that, is what we call a liquidity sweep, especially on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so I had my first confirmation, liquidity sweep of Friday lows. And then on Wednesday, I didn't find the right opportunity to take the trade. I said, I'm going to wait for tomorrow. I wait for London session of Thursday. Okay, Asia session. What do you see here? Accumulation, not a big volume. Pre-London session, liquidity sweep. Lows of Asia session was swept. And just after that, what do you see here? Let me put the lines for you guys to understand what I'm saying. Accumulation, liquidity sweep, break of structure, retest, continuation. Oh, well. Okay, that part was not supposed to be here. Like that. Okay? Let's push this over here without that part. Okay, guys. That's very easy to understand. You wait for your confirmations. When you got the confirmation, you take the trade. And why I took the trade? Because I got volume, I got break of structure, I'm inside session, beginning of London session. I just took the trade like that. Stop loss below the lows, 1 to 2 risk to reward. Okay? And that's basically my strategy every single day. That's what I wait in the markets every single day. And I apply this strategy most on Euro USD, GBP USD, and also on indices on the beginning of New York session. Okay. And even today, I was waiting for the same thing. But why I didn't take the trade? We had the accumulation, manipulation, but this break of structure here was not really convinced to me. So I said, I don't have the perfect confirmation. I'm not going to take the trade. And guys, that's what I do every single day in the market. I just look at the markets. I put my alerts on the zones that I need to see the reaction. And then I just wait. This is a job of a professional trader. And trust me, guys, I'm not 24 hours on the screen. Okay? I wake up in the morning, I see the charts, I see my zones, I wait for my confirmations, I put the alerts, and I go do my life. That's it, guys. Okay? Keep it simple as possible.
Yeah, amazing. Hugo, thank you. No, and I appreciate you guys both diving in. Honestly, you guys went into like, into some depth, and I think that was a lot of value for everybody who was paying attention and who hopped on. Just some of the things I want to touch on, like in regards to that, which I think is, really helpful, is one you guys see. Obviously, they trade differently, but again, like we spoke about it before, very common similarities and consistencies behind like the key points of what they're looking for in the market, right? Like the break of structure was key for both of them, right? Risk to reward, so many like overlapping fundamental things that, will make or break your trading experience. And Hugo touched on a lot of like really important reasons for risk management. If you're not consistent with it, if you're not strict with it, you end up hurting yourself more than helping yourself. You think you're going to put a bigger lot size maybe, because you're going to make more money, but you've been using smaller ones every position prior, and then that just happens to be the losing trade, right? And you wipe out all the profits you made in accumulation. And like that's what frustrates people, right? That's what messes up your psychology. So I think that's a really important thing that you hammered on, which I appreciate. And I just think also it's important for you guys to understand, like I said, these guys are calling, they're doing their live sessions, right? They're doing trading alerts, and they also call TTTs. And I think, there's this important aspect when it comes to like tap to trades and even taking the trade alerts on your own, where, of course, like people want to be able to, that's why tap to trade was built, right? You hit a button, you accept it, and again, you can kind of simulate the trade on your end. But I think what people need to understand is if you guys understand, like you don't even need to have the full knowledge of the strategy, but you have an understanding of what they're looking at in the market. And when they're sending their TTT, you can pull up a chart and get an idea of like, okay, one, you can use it to help yourself study the setup for you to learn. Two, you can understand as the trade's playing out what they were looking for. and it actually will result in you having more success with those services if you have that, just that fundamental, like foundational, knowledge of what they're looking at in the market. And I think that's really key, and it gets overlooked because, of course, like, we talk about it all the time. Like, tap to trade is a very, very, like, simple service to participate in. But obviously, we're all here to see success, right? Like, that's why it's all built. And to increase your rate of success is to have that foundation behind you, so you can follow along and you can participate at a higher level, which again equates to you making more money at the end of the day, and that's the goal, right? So I think that's like really important. Like, kind of gets overlooked, and I love just reminding and hitting on that, because I'm sure you guys have seen, and we're gonna get into that now. I think it would be really powerful, but you guys have been trading here for a long time. You guys have been educating here for a long time with us, and you guys have had a lot of people who have been very, very consistent with your guys' training, with your education, with your sessions, and you've created a lot of success stories, and from people learning from you, from people just following your tap to trades and your trading signals, and just so they can kind of understand what I'm trying to explain to them, right? And in contangent with your guys's performance, maybe you guys can, if you guys have on you, you can kind of just show some of your your past testimonies from some of your customers within Akashx, and all that. I think that'd be really powerful.
Yes, it's what what we focus on, and we, of course, like, it's trading is not that easy. We show like the charts in 5-10 minutes, and looks easy, right? Looks like, oh, it's just this, but at the same time it's just that. So it's like, trading is a crazy stuff, because at the same time is exactly what we showed you. But the moment that you're facing the market, and you have your emotions going on, is the moment that some people will not get successful in trading space. So what I would like to pass to the community and some new people that are here, and of course some of the most ancient people that follow our work and knows the way we do trade. um, and these people know that I really talk a lot, about of the Bible and about of God, but because it's really important for people to follow that. And I prepared, like, for every single person that follows my strategy, I prepared like a 5 minutes guide. So if you want to pick up your how can I say, your pen, and take some notes, type this in your book, and follow this every single day. I call this like faith, focus, and trading. Okay, so it's like the FFT, let's say tip, or let's say FFT egg, if what you want, what you want to call it. So, like, let's talk about faith and focus and bringing this to the market. And this was really important for me. And the word of God talks about of clarity, discipline, identity, peace. And if you bring this to the market, and the moment that you are inside the market, you will see that biblical principles will make you successful inside trading. Okay, so for example, I know a lot of people that they come to me and they ask me like, hey Ivan, I think I found a winning strategy, I'm following this strategy or that strategy, but I'm still losing money by the end of the day, by the end of the week, or by the end of the year. Even with a good strategy that I think it is, I'm still losing money. And the truth about that is, like, it's rarely about the strategy. It's all about mindset and your heart. Okay, so, like, you need to understand that 90% of trading is psychology. Okay, it's like our mind. And in Romans, we have a moment that in Romans, inside the Bible, we talk about this. And it's a verse that says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So what this means? This means that for you to be successful in trading, you need to reset your chip. You need to take off the world things, and get rid of the world things. Because if you are focusing in, like, the things that you smoke, the things that you drink, the things that you go out of this like sinner world, you will come to the market, and you will also sin in the market. You understand? You will also get wrecked inside the market. So you cannot conform to the pattern of this world. You need to renew your mind, and you need to bring that renewed mind to the community, to Akashx, okay? You need to understand the point, because the market is a real battlefield with your mind. And it's similar to life. You will bring things like fear, things like how can I say, greed, doubt, revenge, and you will put this in trading. You will do revenge trading, you will do trading by fear, you will do trading with doubts, and these four things are like other side things, are like the devil's playground, you know. So if the devil wants to reach your life, what he will do? He will put you fear, he will put you greed, he will put you doubt in your partner, in your wife, in your friends, in your business. He will put you doing revenge. So it's a really similar thing about what the devil do in our lives. So when we come to the market, it's like playing side by side to Jesus and the devil by the same time. So I think you really need to renew your mind first. The Bible will help you with that. And then these emotions needs to be rooted. So the renew of your mind, it's like avoid fear, greed, doubt, and revenge, and compensate that with peace, identity, trust. And this is all about the Bible, guys. I never learn in other book how to do this, that not following the word of Jesus inside the New Testament. So in Timothy always says that for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and sound of mind. So this means the only way that you can search peace, identity, and trust is following Jesus' word. And sorry about talking about like religion, but it's not about religion. It's about the word that you need to follow. It's about the word that make America great. It's about the word that your country is like the dream for every single people, and you cannot lose that on your country, and you cannot lose that on yourselves. Okay, so God gave us sound of mind, and that's the reason why most of traders operate with anxiety, operate with desperation. They lose money, they come to the company Akashx or every single other company, and they will get revenge. They will put this guy is the guilty, or my upline, or the trader that I'm following. No, the problem is with you. You didn't renew your mind, you didn't transform yourself, you didn't search for identity, you didn't search for Jesus, you didn't search for peace first. And that's the reason why you are losing money, not because of strategy. Okay, so your subconscious mind will be the beliefs that you have, and with these type of emotions not renewing, or not rooted, you will think you don't deserve wealth, and you think this a lot of times. And at least 90% of the people that I know came from parents and came from places, and even me, that we think that we don't deserve the money. So the moment that you come here and you think you don't deserve, or you think this is not for you, or you think this is only for other people, you are already like getting arrested inside the market. Okay, because a negative programming mind also cannot be inside the market. So before going to the strategy, guys, before going to the live sessions, before also putting like the buy button or the sell button, you need to renew your mind. Okay, money is not the root of all evil. This is a misquoted verse that some people also bring from the Bible, and it's not like about that. Okay, because what says in Timothy, and I will tell it to you to finish this sentence, is like the love of money is the root of all evil. It's not the money, it's the attachment of the money. Okay, so it's not the money that is evil. It's when we put the money as an idol in our lives. You need to put God as an idol, then the money as a consequence. Okay, and successful people, they are not successful because they have money. Okay, they have money because first they search for being a successful people. And I can guarantee, if you search for God, you will be a successful man and a woman even before you gain money. So it's not the money, it's the attachment. Okay, and also in John it says, I have come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. So the Bible says that God gave you life, and God gave you a life to be abundantly, with money, with a good wife, with friends, with love. So that was the only thing I wanted to pass you guys, because I pass this to me every single day and every single week before I go to the market. So that's the reason and let me say, I'm not a perfect man, because nobody is. I'm also a sinner as you are all, but I search to be the better version of myself every single day. And the Lord is my savior, and the Lord is what I search every single day to bring me trust, to bring me peace, and to bring me identity. And if you don't have it, I think it's time to search for God first, then trading, and then apply to the trading, and you will be successful. If it is with my strategy, if it is with Hugo's strategy, if it is with Rich Vendiga or Arabella or every single trader inside this community or that you're following, guys. So that's the last word that I wanted to talk about inside the trading space, because I cannot be grateful and I cannot say that I'm successful not bringing God to the plan and not bringing God to the table. So thank you, my Lord, and thank you to you, Mike, and thank you to every single one of you inside this community for the opportunity, guys.
Well, thank you, Ivan. I think everybody, you can look at the chat, man. Everybody loved that, and I think you just put that in a really good perspective for a lot of people tuning in, and myself as well. And that's a lot of that stuff, is not talked about, and so I appreciate you getting into that. I think, like I said, I think everybody loved it, and I think that was a great way to end the call. I really appreciate having you guys on here. I think that the last thing, just so as well, everybody who's tuning in can make sure that they know how to like how to find your guys' sessions, how to connect with you guys. I think that's really important. There might be people on this call who didn't even know you guys were traders on the platform. That's why we're doing these calls, and that's why we're doing this every week, is because we want everybody to have, get an exposure to, everything Akashx is offering, everything of the value that of the traders like you guys self that offer on the platform. Again, the extra mile you guys go. You guys don't need to be doing this. Obviously, you guys have a lot of other, ventures. You guys are very successful on your own, but you guys take the time out of your day every day, to give back to this community. Says a lot about you guys. We appreciate it. And so, yeah, if you guys just let everyone know what time your guys' sessions are, you know, how to access it, and what time you guys are, maybe you're trading, all that, bro, just so they can follow along. They all know how to get connected with you guys, and then we'll wrap this up. We appreciate your guys' time.
Okay, brother, do you want to tell? Or do I tell people the live
Yeah,
session?
you can tell, bro. It's fine. You can tell. Yeah.
Okay, so guys, we are using, sorry, we are doing Tuesday and Thursday. So the time is like at least our time is 10:30 a.m. So how can I say? I think Eastern time is like it's
It's
the
a
same, no?
5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time, AM.
Yeah, let me check like Eastern. So Eastern, which time is Eastern now?
I
Eastern.
I
think
I
I
think it's
think
8:30 a.m.
yeah, I think they're 2 hours behind you guys.
It's 2 hours behind. It's nine. Is exactly? It's 9:18. So yeah. So we do the live session, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time is our live session Tuesday and Thursday. Okay. What we are also seeing a possibility to do is like one night session per week as well, but we don't have the schedule. Also, we can talk then with you, Mike, about that. But
Yeah.
like doing an Asia session trading, perhaps like Wednesday or something, and that would be like uh 10:30 p.m. our hour, so like 8:30 p.m. Eastern, like 8:30 in the morning, 8:30 in the night, something like that. And will be like Tuesday and Thursday the morning session, and Wednesday the night session.
Amazing. Yeah, we can I think, I think it would be the community would love it for you guys to add an extra session, but as you guys, yeah, like it's saying in the chat, Joey's putting it in there. Um Tuesday, Thursday, 8:30 a.m. 8:30
AM, yeah.
a.m. Eastern time. So make sure it's morning sessions, they're trading New York session. So yeah, Tuesdays, Thursdays, guys, and we'll talk about adding a Wednesday session for sure. That'd be awesome, just to, add some diversity. I think that'd be great, especially be more in the evening. But yeah, guys, everyone, they're all in
And
the
of course they can found us in inside the Akashx
Yeah, I
lab.
was gonna say
So
exactly. I was
just
gonna
just
say,
the
yep. You
educate.
you know you can find them in Akashx's platform, guys. Make sure you're joining their Telegram topics. Like I said, these guys are very very communicative. They're very very engaging. They're constantly my phone's going off, and half of the time it's from their group chat. That they're they're giving value. They're updating people on their trades. Again, just really important to get connected with these guys and everybody you guys are following, especially when it comes to following the trades and the tap to trades. And these guys are two of the best we got on the platform. So again, appreciate everyone's time. I hope everyone has a great rest of your Friday nights. Thank you guys for jumping on, and we'll see you guys next Friday. Thanks so much,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
guys.
much, man.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
guys. Thank you.